Eerily haunting true stories about remote abandoned locations rich in history. Come with us in our travels from state to state, if you dare.
Be the last time anybody sees us alive. I don't know where she has us, but we're gonna get something killed.
Hello?
Gina, there is a beehive over there. Do you see that in the hole?
Buckle up, Buttercup.
Welcome to 50 States of Madness.
Hi.
Welcome to
Welcome.
50 States.
Welcome to 50 States of Madness. How are you this lovely Friday evening?
I'm doing really good. Had a really busy week though, but
That's
doing
good.
good. How about yourself?
I'm good.
I saw you got a new cup.
I do.
It reminds me of Wizard of Oz.
The perks of Shannon working at Starbucks. I send her a picture and then I receive the cup.
It's so pretty. It does remind me of the Emerald City. So
It's called the watermelon cup.
it does remind me of that as well.
Yeah.
I know when you first told me it, I thought you were telling me it smelled like watermelon.
No. That would be nice if it did, though. You can put that in as a request to Mr. Starbuck.
Yeah, but not if you're drinking iced coffee out of it.
Well, I don't. I only drink water, so.
That's true.
Yeah.
Actually, that might be nice then.
And then I'm eating some lovely chips. Well, not anymore. My Poppables. If you haven't tried the barbecue Poppables, you have no idea what you're missing. You're welcome. Not sponsored by Poppable. I don't even know who makes these things.
You're like, you can send us boxes of them too.
Yes, because Poppables they're really good. They're really
That's
good.
awesome.
Yeah, that's all I'm doing.
Well, my spider bite's better, in case everybody was worried and wondering.
And again, for the third week in a row, I haven't asked.
I know.
Sorry.
It's gone.
I
You
mean,
don't even
I
have to
figured
ask
like I
anymore.
talk to you every single
know.
day, so I figure at this point, like if something's bad, either you're gonna tell me or I won't hear from you.
That's absolutely true.
Yeah.
But I did get 2 more bites on my shoulder, but it wasn't I don't think it's from the same spider, or I have so much antibiotics running through my system from the other spider bite that it didn't affect me.
What do
as
you
bad.
mean?
I know. It was on my shoulder, 2 more bites. I jumped into the shower the other day and I felt like a burning sensation because we have like the water softener.
Wait, you're
of
telling
salt.
me that you got bit by a brown recluse spider
No.
3 times?
No, I don't think it was brown recluse. I think it's a different spider. No.
Like, you got to be kidding me. You need to burn your house down.
Oh, at that point I would have. No. It's just like, but one of them got kind of like a little bit big, but it's scabbed over now and it's going away. But it's but I felt like burning on my back. So
How
I went to my
weird.
husband. I'm like, is there something on my back? Because when I jumped in the shower, because we have the salt water. For the softener. And so it kind of like every once in a while, you know, if we put too much salt in, or it's brand new salt. And so I felt it's kind of stinging and I'm like, oh. And he goes, yeah, you got to, like, he took a picture of it. Oh, I'll send you the picture. You can put it up.
No, you can because you're going to edit this.
Oh, that's right. So there's a bite there. I know, I'll hand it off to you.
We could do a whole series on your spider bites at this point.
But I finally called the exterminators and I'm like, you need to get out here. And yeah.
That's crazy. I wonder why there's so many spiders right now.
I think because of all the rain.
Oh, yeah.
So they're coming in the house.
Oh, dang.
And we usually have the exterminator only go on the outside of the house.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have them come in.
Come inside.
I don't know.
Come inside.
Besides the crazy spiders that are happening, today we're going to cover some of California's craziest cults.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
And we discovered that some of them are like at one time
Right
were
here.
right here.
Like
in our backyard.
literally right here.
I know, like locations. They're like, the house may not be there, but this is where it's at. Like,
Yeah, it's really crazy. Like literally within a 5-mile radius of our house.
La Habra, like, was one of the cults that would just kind of chill over here.
Yeah.
I mean, we know about the most famous, like the Manson family,
Yeah.
considered a cult. So that was here in California.
And that we could go on forever and ever and ever. I've done like the Dearly Departed tour.
I wanted to do that so bad, but they don't do it anymore.
No, we did, me and Ren. Hi, Ren. Ren and I did it, God, I don't even know how many years ago it was.
Yeah.
But we did they had like the regular Dearly Departed one, and then they had just the Manson one. And so we did the Manson one, and it was like, I think it was like 3 hours, and it was so much, it was very cool. I'm glad that like I know a lot about the case, and like I've read Helter Skelter and stuff like that, because the guy who did the tour was like so well versed in the whole thing that if you didn't know anything about it, you would have been lost.
Like he
was just
like,
rattling off names and like things and situations, and like if you weren't familiar with it, he
didn't give the like
no background.
You know, the 101 like class 101 or whatever.
No, but I guess if you're taking that tour, then I'm sure you're probably something about it. So yeah, but it was really, really cool. So. So yeah, we're not going to cover the Manson family because
a lot's already been covered.
Yeah, and if you really if you want to do a deep dive on it, you're not going to come to 50 States of Madness to learn about about Manson. So Charles or Marilyn.
Oh, that's true.
Well, I mean, you could, but
yeah. Well, we'll give you a little sprinkle of it.
Yeah.
So, and I was surprised though too, because I always thought of like I knew about the Manson family, but I didn't realize how many cults like there were out there. Because I mean, we're only going to talk about 4 of them, but there's a whole heck of a lot more. And
yeah, I feel like there's a lot out there, and I don't feel like they're always called a cult.
No,
it's a group. I mean, most times it's got a religion attached to it, I think. And so it
sort of belief system that
presents itself a little differently. But yeah, at the end, I feel like that's exactly what it is, a cult.
Yeah.
Wait, before we start, I want to show off my new flannel. Well, it's not new. Ooh. I've had it for a while, but hold on. It's a little tiny tag right here. I don't know if y'all can see it. I've waited since last year for this flannel. This is my Mr. Ballin flannel. If you don't know who Mr. Ballin is, I don't know. We probably can't be friends. But anyway, if you guys aren't subscribed to Mr. Ballin's channel, you need to be. If you like anything spooky, not necessarily true crime, just like crazy, weird, off the wall stories that you've probably never heard of before in your life. Yeah. Mr. Ballin is where it's at. So he always wears flannel. So he came out with his own clothing line. So
that is nice.
I ordered this sucker last year.
Stop.
Swear to God. And I just got it like maybe 2 months ago.
Almost like our beanies that we're still waiting for.
Oh yeah. Okay.
What's going on with our beanies?
Where's our beanies? Anyway, so
no, that's super cute.
Yeah, so subscribe to Mr. Ballin.
Yeah, I do watch him on YouTube a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, I listen to him on YouTube a lot.
Oh, I watch. I have to watch. No. I don't know. I do love to listen to podcasts, but something about like the visual, especially like when you're doing stuff like that, like when I need to see some pictures.
Sometimes I do have to like toggle. Like if I'm at work or something, I'll toggle to like peek at what some of the things are. But most of the time I just listen.
I usually watch while I'm driving.
Well, that's good.
It's really safe.
I'm going to try that.
It's really safe.
I did that with We're From Radio though today. I was doing their 30-minute bonus episode.
Oh, and so you were watching it?
I was watching
and driving.
I was kind of like, to the side.
Yeah.
Catch
a glimpse every now and then.
Yeah. Especially when Heidi starts laughing.
Like, it's good. Between her and Darren's wheeze kills me. Like I can't. Yeah. I don't even have to know what they're laughing about at that point. If I hear her wheezing, then I'm done. I'm done. Checked out.
I'm like always like, I want to jump in the middle of the conversation. I'm like, damn it.
I get like that a lot. I get like that with every single podcast, especially right now, because I'm so balls deep in this Vanderpump Rules. I don't know if any of you guys.
You said that last week too. And I still can't.
I've been watching it for not that long, but I'm caught up. Like I've seen all 10 seasons. I mean, it's not something I can say that I'm proud of, so I'm not proud of it. But yeah, there's some good stuff going on. So yeah, I've been pretty deep into that. But
maybe
that's all.
Maybe I'll check it out. The closest thing I get to some of those things is there's a girl on TikTok who reenacts or kind of does skits on the Kardashians, and she's her only person.
I've seen it.
She's
genius.
Fucking genius.
I've seen it.
She is hilarious. I
don't ever go on. Yeah, I don't ever go on TikTok, but I've seen her. Somebody showed her to me. Was Chloe? It you? No, somebody where she's got like the big old long nails, like taped there, like Post-it notes or something, taped to her fingertips.
It is the.
It's so funny. Shit. Yeah, no, it is funny. I've seen a couple of them.
She sounds exactly.
Is it her talking or is it like?
No, it's her talking.
A voiceover.
No, it's her talking. I don't think it's actual. It's Jesus. Her acting it out. She's doing her.
I knew she was acting it, but I thought it was like a track that she was like.
No, I don't think it is.
Oh, I think Jesus. It's her. Well, she's pretty spot on then.
She's really good, especially when she does. The little one, the cute. I don't know their names. Is it Courtney? Yeah, Courtney.
The one married to Travis Barker?
Yes. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, I'm so bad with names. But yeah, she sounds exactly like her.
Because she talks like really slow and like, yeah. That's funny. I'll have to watch more of her. Anyway, back to the cults.
Thank you. Sorry. Okay. So the first one we're going to cover is the Family International, formerly known as Children of God. So this cult was founded in Huntington Beach, California in 1968. Which I have to say is a stone's throw away from here.
Yeah, and I mean, even if you've never even been to California, you've heard of Huntington Beach.
Yeah.
So it's
Surfing USA.
Yeah.
Right there. It was founded by David Berg, originally named Teens for Christ. However, it was not too well known until it was named the Children of God. From 1978 to 1981, it was renamed the Family of Love, but has since been shortened to the Family. In 2004, it was renamed the Family International. 2004.
Yeah, that's like 20 years ago.
A lot of these are still around. Some of them, like, they still have small.
It's crazy because, you know, when you hear these names, like the Family of Love and Teens for Christ, like it screams obviously religion, but like it doesn't make you think cult.
No. And you know what? I'm really curious at what point does a religious group be categorized as a cult?
Well, yeah. And, you know, they probably do this like to suck them in and to pull them in. And then I think just little by little, it's just brainwashing.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. It's when you start separating them from their family,
teens. There you go.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And a lot of these you're going to find out like it's a lot of pedophiles.
Mm-hmm.
In these religious sects.
Yeah.
So Berg started this cult from a coffee shop in Huntington Beach with the born-again hippies who hung out there. So remember, this is in the 70s. He combined Christian theology with bizarre interpretations of scripture, trance channeling from angels, and anti-Semitic conspiracy theories. They also believed that there is no hell and that all humans would eventually be saved by Jesus Christ. He sought to lure in flower children with rock music and free peanut butter sandwiches.
Oh, well, you would have got me with the rock music, the peanut butter sandwiches, though.
Oh, I'm sorry. He probably would have gotten me with the peanut butter sandwiches.
Apples and peanut butter, maybe, but not peanut butter sandwiches.
It's just, it's funny because a lot of them started in the 70s because of the hippie movement.
Of course.
And the free spirit and the free love and the, you know, just being open and traveling across the states and, you know, just that envision of just, you know, living free. So in 1969, he had a vision that California would be hit with a massive earthquake. So he and his followers wandered the Southwest for 8 months and renamed themselves the Children of God. In 1972, Berg became known as Moses David, Mo King David, and a few other names. I love that one, Mo King.
Mo King. It's a good one.
He's just more king.
Yeah.
Mo King David. I'm just like, I'm dying. Maybe it's I guess it would be a shortened for Moses, but that's funny.
Mo King.
He began communicating with his members by writing letters. He wrote over 3,000 letters in 24 years. He stated that he was God's prophet. As the cult grew in size, other beliefs and practices came to the surface, such as cult members should masturbate while fantasizing about having sex with Jesus. That blew me away.
Wow.
Like,
wow.
Okay, I just got to pause on that one.
Yeah, I mean
that's the last person I'd want to be.
Well, I mean, it's crazy how it's like the shock value is like what, but these people, they believe this and they follow this and they fall for all of this, and that's what's so sad. Like I
guess you got to get them young.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's exactly how you do it. You just brainwash them little by little.
And also that sex and masturbation were gifts from God. This brought on extreme views on free love, including, like we said, pedophilia.
Yeah.
The cult also encouraged members to perform what was referred to as flirty fishing and love bombing as means of recruitment. This is when female members would show new recruits God's love through sexual relationships. My husband would have been part of this cult. I'm just saying. I'm like, there is no doubt in my mind that I would have lost him. I'm like,
flirty fishing and love bombing.
Is it maybe that's how I got him?
You love bombed him?
I love bombed him.
Oh man, not me. I'm not a love bomber. I don't think so. Probably not.
We'll talk off the air.
Well, let's not ask Johnny.
I know. I was going to say, let's talk off the air.
Because then I'll tell you how mean I am.
I think you love bomb in different ways. I think your love bomb's just for Johnny. I think it works out for him just fine.
Yeah.
It's his type of love bomb. It became so widely used by 1978 that some of the female members would use escort agencies to meet potential clients. I think a man in that state would agree to join anything.
Of course.
He's like, sign on the dotted line.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy.
It is.
Berg's theology was derived from apocalyptic Adventist preaching tradition, in which he made a great deal of failed prophecies, such as comic Kohutek would cause havoc on earth in 1974. A socialist Egyptian leader would become a world dictator in 1986. Armageddon would happen in the late 1980s, and that Jesus would return in 1993. So in the late 1980s, the group wanted a more family-friendly community to coincide with their new name, The Family. In March 1989, an urgent memo was sent out with a zero-tolerance policy regarding sexual interaction between minors and adults. It stated that any contact between an adult and a minor, any person under 21 years of age, was declared an excommunicable offense.
Oh.
So they did alter. I mean, I see it like.
Turn it around now or what?
Yeah. Well, kind of like the Mormon church, you know, like.
Yeah.
As time goes on, let's change it.
Change it up a little.
To make it more. So they can get more. Yeah. And more people can become part of that religion.
Yeah.
And, you know, so. And maybe, you know, they see the errors of their way.
We should have had Heidi on this episode.
I know this one actually would have been pretty interesting with her and her take on him.
Yeah.
So in the early 1990s, the group broke years of virtual silence and began inviting reporters and religious scholars to visit its commune in La Habra, California. That's where I live. Where they found its members to be a clean-cut bunch of friendly and courteous people. At that time, the family claimed to have about 9,000 members worldwide, with about 750 scattered across the United States. The group emphasized its mainstream Christian opposition to abortion, homosexuality, drugs, and drunkenness, and its respect for Reverend Billy Graham. And I have to say, they have a website, so I will put it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. They have a website. They're still up and running worldwide.
Yeah.
You know,
they're still going.
They're still going strong. Berg died in 1994, and new leaders have assumed the role. At the height of its membership, its members included actor Joaquin Phoenix. Felix. Not Joaquin. Let's not confuse him with Joaquin Felix, okay? But the other actor, Joaquin Phoenix, whose family traveled with the cult around South America, including his brother, River Phoenix. Rest in peace. I was a huge fan of River Phoenix.
I should have been wearing my Viper Room.
Yeah, the Viper
beanie this week and not last week.
I actually have pictures of me right after it happened at the Viper Room.
I love that place.
I was a huge fan
we
of
should,
his.
We should do an episode on the Viper Room. That place is haunted as all hell.
A lot of stuff has happened at the Viper Room.
Very haunted place.
The last movie he ever did is probably like one of my, not like a favorite type, but like it's very entertaining. It's like a country western where he sings and stuff. And it's got one of like a song that I like to sing.
You and this country western shit. What's happening? She was
just
playing this like country song for me.
Josh Turner. I want to be your man. I was playing it for Gina. But
she really was.
So but I knew that his family was part of like he grew up in like a commune, the free hippie stuff, you know, they got his sister there, you know,
right.
as well. What's the sister's name? It's Joaquin River and it's another hippie name.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Keep reading. I'll find it.
Okay. Other well-known celebrities include actress Rose McGowan, who grew up in the cult, and Jeremy Spencer. He's a founding member of Fleetwood Mac, and he left after joining the cult in 1971. So he actually left Fleetwood Mac to join this cult.
Oh, Rain?
Liberty? Yeah, they got Rain, Liberty. Yes, I'm telling you.
Rain, Summer, Liberty.
I'm telling you, the whole family. Yeah. Joaquin walked out of there.
Damn, I didn't know that they had all of them.
Yeah. Karen Zerby, the current leader, has been accused of sexually molesting children. One individual growing up in the family, named Verity Carter, during the Children of God era, described being sexually abused from the age of 4 by members of the cult, including her own father. She blames the philosophy of David Berg, who told members that God was love and love was sex, so that sex should not be limited by age or relationship. That's like a running belief through a lot of these cults. Yes. Like, I mean, I started watching that show, the Waco one on Netflix. Oh, did you start watching it? Yes.
I haven't started it yet.
It's one lady who is talking, who was in the cult, and I haven't gotten far enough to know if whether she's changed her mind yet or not, but she was talking about, you know, their beliefs. Yeah. And she said that, you know, you say that, you know, they were pedophiles and that they were having sex with children, but we did not view 12-year-olds as children. We viewed them, they were brainwashing. They were coming of age. They were not children anymore. So a 12-year-old to them was not a child. So they didn't see it. Like, that was not, she says, that's
where the brainwashing comes in. Like, it's crazy.
That was not our belief system.
And we visited that place too.
Yes.
Ooh, man.
That's an episode coming up. So Carter also complains of being repeatedly beaten and whipped for the smallest of transgressions, being denied music or television or culture or contact with the outside world. And like I said, again, that's another...
Yeah, because they don't want you to talk to anybody that's going to talk you out of what your beliefs are.
Yeah, and if you do, I recommend that, the Waco one, because you're people who were part of the group in there at the time of the siege, they're actually, you know, being interviewed and talking, and it's insane, like some of the stuff they're saying, you know, but it's like, but if you're in there, you don't see, like...
Because you're not having any communication with anybody on the outside, and it's nobody to tell you, like, no, this is wrong.
Yeah.
You're just around a bunch of people with the same beliefs. That's all you know.
Yeah. And she was explaining, like, you know, people think like, oh, you know, we were setting our children out to be free. They were going to be safe. And she goes, we didn't see it like that. We saw that we were sending them into Babylon, the devil, you know, the government was the devil. That's where we were sending our children. We didn't see it like the world saw it. You know, it's just crazy. So to hear this, it's like you see either where some of the, like, all these cults with this, I'm just thinking, if you got all these people together, we'd have one big cult. Like, because the belief is almost threaded through. It's all identical. Of them as the same. Yeah.
No, it really is. So it really is. Okay. So the second one we're going to talk about is called The Source. So James Edward Baker was born on July 4th, 1922. He served in World War II. He became an expert in jiu-jitsu and moved to Hollywood to become a stuntman. During his time in California, he lived a vegetarian lifestyle and studied philosophy, religion, and esoteric spiritual teachings. He later became a follower of Yogi Bhajan. Is that how we said it?
Yeah.
We looked this up.
Yeah.
A Sikh spiritual leader and teachings of Kundalini yoga. Baker left Yogi Bhajan in the late 1960s and created his own philosophy based on Western mystery tradition. Changing his name to Father Yod and Yahovah, Baker became the patriarch for a commune of young people who considered him their spiritual father. This is crazy. In 1969, Yod opened a health food restaurant named The Source and was soon leading meditation sessions in his restaurant and developing his own teachings. Some celebrities that would frequently eat at the restaurant were John Lennon, Marlon Brando, and Julie Christie.
This is like right there in LA.
Yeah.
This restaurant.
I
know.
And he's doing like meditation sessions right there.
I know. It's
come in for a plate of veggies and a meditation
session. I know. It's just crazy.
Man, Baker also had 2 other successful restaurants on the Sunset Strip called the Aware Inn and the Old World. Those are some cool names.
Yeah.
He attracted followers and established a commune at Chandler Mansion in the Hollywood Hills known as the Mother House. Okay.
Yeah, and you'll see some of these pictures that we put up with Father Yod at the Mother House.
His followers would dress in white robes and follow a spiritual regimen of breathing techniques, cold showers, gender role shifts, yoga, home births, chanting of the tetragrammaton, ego suppression rituals, and tantric sex. The group even had their own band called Yahovah 13.
I need to find this album.
Let's buy it. Maybe they have it at Amoeba.
I
can order it. Look it up.
I'm like,
we won't get copyright for that if we play it.
I don't think, would you? I don't know.
I don't know. We'd have to look.
A few seconds.
Yeah, I think we got like 3 or 4 seconds.
We got 3 or 4 seconds. Yeah, so let's try this. Yahovah 13. Okay. Here we go.
It says in 1998 the albums were re-released in a box set by a Japanese label. We can buy the whole box set if we like it.
Okay, I'm going to turn it on, but then I'm going to... There's no...
Sounds pretty good.
I don't hear any singing.
That was Yahovah 13.
Music.
Okay. All right. I dig it.
It sounds like 60s, 70s music. Yeah. Right there. Okay.
In 1974, after the Manson family murders, the Source family began to experience negative social pressure, and so they left to find a new home for the group. On August 25th, 1975, Yod died after leaping off a cliff in Oahu, Hawaii, with a hang glider he did not know how to use. That must have been a really scary death. He was only 53 years old. The Source family refers to this day as Black Monday. And after 3 days of holding a vigil, he was cremated and laid to rest in Lanikai Beach.
And so that was the end of the Source.
Yeah. So no more Source.
No.
That's so crazy though. Like it's just, this stuff is so interesting just in general, but it's crazy how they are really all the same.
Yeah. Sex, chanting, yoga.
Yeah, I mean,
it's
really interesting.
Like I said,
and money. I mean, I think money's like the core.
Yeah.
What they're trying to get, I think, is the reason behind it all.
So the next one, the Blackburn cult. This one was started by a woman named Matilda May Otis Blackburn. She was born on August 2nd, 1881.
I like her name. Yeah. Matilda May Otis.
Yeah.
I like that.
She was a self-appointed high priestess of the 1920s Los Angeles new religious movement known as the Divine Order of the Royal Arms of the Great 11.
That's a mouthful.
Yeah. Or Cult of the Great 11. Like literally they didn't even hide it. Yeah. They were like, you know what?
This is a cult.
We're a cult. Along with her daughter, Ruth Wieland Rizzio. May had the dream to produce and direct films. So she was really wanting to break into Hollywood.
Yeah.
And so she founded her own production company called Starlight. This is during the time when like a lot of films were like silent films and stuff. Yeah. But May always casted her daughter Ruth in her films. Ruth began her career as an actress in her mother's silent films in Portland, Oregon. However, the movies flopped and they eventually moved to Hollywood and portrayed themselves as sisters rather than mother and daughter. When Ruth could not make it as an actress in Hollywood, she became an exotic dancer. During this time, even though Ruth was married to a guy named Sammy Rizzio, she met another man by the name of Arthur Osborne. Arthur lived in an apartment on 145 North Greenleaf in Whittier, California. Oh, that's where we're recording right now.
2 miles.
Greenleaf, yeah, is only, I'm curious, 145 North Greenleaf.
You want to go over there after?
Yeah, after this, we're going to head over there. And he worked in Santa Fe Springs.
Oh, okay, well.
Down the street.
Yeah.
Ruth wanted to dedicate herself full-time to starting the cult, but did not have the financial means to do so. She convinced Arthur to financially support her by threatening him that she would have to return to the dance halls and dance for other men. So he agreed. So this man said, no, you are not going to the dance halls.
Dance halls?
That's what an exotic dancer was back then. They danced in the dance halls. You're like, not the dance halls.
Not the dance halls.
In 1922, 41-year-old May Blackburn, along with her daughter, 24-year-old Ruth, founded the cult in the Bunker Hill area of Los Angeles. They proclaimed that the angels Michael and Gabriel appeared to them and claimed that they were the two witnesses that are mentioned in the book of Revelation. May claimed that she would be one of the 11 queens that would rule the world from 11 mansions that would be built on Olive Hill in Hollywood. They were instructed by the Archangel Gabriel to write books revealing the mysteries about heaven and earth and life and death. The book was called The Great Sixth Seal. In the book, it gave locations for riches and oil deposits. However, writing a book required a printing press, so they reached out to a few investors and told them that they would be rewarded if they helped to finance her book. She also persuaded women to sell all their possessions and hand over the money to the cult with the promise that they would become future queens.
There you go.
Also, because she was saying that we're going to let you know where these places are with these oil deposits. So people were willing to give the money because she actually promised them that they would be the first ones to read the books too.
Right.
So it's out of greed too. A lot of these people gave the money because they thought they were going to get stuff back.
Yeah.
She also convinced her stepfather to sell his grocery store in Portland, Oregon, to establish the Walter J. Blackburn Publishing Company to publish her pamphlets to promote the cult's theology. I feel like I just said Peter Piper picked a peck of peppers. I was like, publish, pamphlets, promote. So once they had followers, they began siphoning money from these followers, convincing them to hand over thousands of dollars. And even one follower, Clifford Dabney, a nephew of a really rich guy who made a lot of money off the oil business, he gave them $40,000. That is worth about $750,000 in today's money.
Jesus.
Yes.
That's crazy.
It is. And he also gave them 164 acres of land in the Santa Susana area of Simi Valley. So that's not too far. Yeah. Mm-hmm. May was married to her stepbrother, Ward Seiton Blackburn, who was significantly younger than May. In fact, he was 1 year younger than Ruth, May's daughter. Ward was proclaimed as the North Star of the world. He led the cult members to build cabins on the property in Santa Susana. He was described as a man who would wear the same clothes day after day. He had poor grooming habits and hygiene, trimmed his eyebrows into thin slits, wore a Fu Manchu. It was a type of mustache, dropped down below his jawline. Yeah. And he was intellectually low. He was also known to be a child molester. Wow. I'm going to put a picture up of this guy. He's
real honey or what?
Oh, yeah. That's what we want to call him.
Are you going to fight for him?
I'm going to. We are.
The claws are coming out.
During this time, newspapers reported animals being sacrificed, sex scandals, mummification, throne rooms, and even placed one cult member in a brick oven supposedly to cure a disease, but they ended up dying.
Yeah. In a brick oven?
In a brick oven.
Just gonna go chill in the oven for a little bit? With dinner?
It cured it. The person didn't have the disease anymore. It's like, yeah.
Didn't have anything anymore. Wow.
Cult members resided in the cabins in the Santa Susana area waiting for the return of Christ. There was a temple constructed on the property with a throne for Christ. Cult members worked on the property and turned over their earnings to Blackburn. In the evenings, they would gather in robes for rituals, sacrifice mules, and dance in the nude. Wow. So one member, Willow Rhodes, who was only 16 years old, had joined the cult with her adoptive parents. May was so taken with Willa that she dubbed her priestess and queen of the order, even naming her the Tree of Life, making her the link between God and man. It was one of the highest honors. She died on New Year's Day in 1925 from a terrible tooth infection. May convinced the family that Willa would be resurrected in 1,260 days. That's roughly 3.5 years.
Wow.
So the parents placed her body on ice with salts and spices in a bathtub. When the family moved to Venice 14 months later, they wrapped her up and placed her in a metal coffin and buried her under their floorboards. She was later found by the authorities in 1929 alongside another coffin with 7 puppies. They had given her these 7 puppies. When she was, she was taking care of these 7 puppies, and she named them Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, La, Ti.
Wow.
And I'm mentioning that because we're going to be mentioning another cult where they use the names Do and Ti.
Yeah.
So, and it's supposed to be like this. It'll say it's for representing the 7 tones of Angel Gabriel's trumpet.
That's so crazy.
So that's what the folos. What is it?
Say it again.
A deer, a female deer, Ray, a drop of golden sun. Me. But she made it really cute. Like, and I don't remember specifically because I didn't want to take down, because this one actually has a lot of information on this cult, but she actually made them like really cute names, she extended the names, for example, like if it's me, this wasn't what she named it, but let's say we said like Mimi or something, she extended on it, but yeah, but she made sure to put that
was their nickname,
their names in those syllables or the 2 little
those letters
in the names. Yeah. So 4 members of the cult reportedly disappeared, including Ruth's second husband, Sammy Rizzio, who was only 19 when he married Ruth, and she was 26.
Oh.
Yeah, he was younger than her.
Wonder where he's at.
He's missing. And I'm telling you, there's so much more on this one that we probably do a whole.
Yeah.
It was actually really, really interesting, even with Sammy Rizzio's background and everything. So, but in 1930, Ruth was charged with grand theft, but it was thrown out 1 year later because it could not be proven that she did not sincerely believe in her faith and that she took money from her followers in an attempt to fraud them. So her followers went after her, said, "Hey, we were frauded," and it was proven that her followers were of sound mind when they handed her the money, and the court stated that at worst the victims suffered from their own bad judgment.
Wow. Well, I mean, what do you do? Because it's the truth.
Yeah, they freely gave away they gave the money to her, and they're saying that, she truly believed that this was going to happen. This is her belief system.
Right.
So therefore, it's like us giving our money to the church and coming back and saying, "Oh, they frauded me because, whatever,
whatever
Jesus
your reason be,
or whatever during my lifetime or whatever, So in 1936, she published a book called The Origin of God. She died in Los Angeles in 1951. So she lived here.
Wow.
After they moved down
up
here.
until, I mean, not that 1951 is.
I know.
It's not that long ago, though. No. You know what I mean? When you think about it. I mean, we weren't alive, but still, like, it wasn't that long ago.
No. It's crazy. The fact that, they thought she was going to be resurrected, and the family believed it.
I'm telling you, like, the brainwashing is so, it just, I don't understand, like, how these people fall for all this. But again, I think it's because they don't have any communication with anybody that believes anything different.
Yeah.
That's just what it is.
And it's funny with the Blackburns, they never hid it. Like, this is the name. We're a cult. She wanted to start a cult. Hey, support my cult.
Right.
This is what we want.
Yeah, she just put it out there.
Yeah, we're going to go out and live in these cabins out in the woods.
Right.
And And like I said, there's so much more to this story, and the fact that, May actually married her stepbrother.
Yeah.
It's just.
Yeah, I mean, that's how yeah, it's disgusting.
And he was almost twice, she was almost twice
his age. Yeah. Yeah, she was 26 years old.
No, that's Ruth.
Ruth
was
May?
older than Sammy. May's the one who started it, the one who was born in 1881.
Oh, she's Matilda May.
Matilda May. She married her stepbrother.
That's so gross.
Yeah.
All right, so the next one that we're going to talk about is a pretty well-known one called Heaven's Gate. Heaven's Gate was started in 1974 and led by Bonnie Nettles, later known by their followers as T, and Marshall Applewhite, later known as Doe. Bonnie was born on August 29th, 1927, and was raised in Houston, Texas. She was not very religious and worked as a nurse. She married in 1949 and had 4 children. However, in 1972, she started holding regular seances to contact spirits. She believed that a 19th century monk would talk to her regularly. Wow.
And Houston, Texas. And I don't want to say anything about Texas.
I do.
And Houston, but
I will.
Thank you. I'm like,
it's terrible.
Thank you.
Sorry to all you listeners from Texas or from Houston, but we were just there and I was not impressed.
No, I'm just like, and
I didn't feel the love.
Yeah. In LA, I mean,
Texas, there's beautiful places in Texas, but Houston in particular, I'm not sure what draws people there. And I'm sure people say that about Los Angeles too, but it's all I know, born and raised here, but
and I'm sure it's the same thing. Like in the city, it's bad, and the suburbs is pretty.
You know what though? I feel like it's the same thing, because I'll always say, like, why do people want to come here? Why do people want to come here to Hollywood? Why do people want to come here to Los Angeles? Like, it just smells like piss everywhere. I'm sure that's probably what people that live in Houston say too.
Yeah, I'm sure.
It's probably the same thing, but
but with like 10 times the potholes.
I guess it just wasn't
for now, because our weather's been really bad, and we probably all the potholes
out here, man.
Man, so I can't even say anything about the potholes in Houston anymore.
No, but they were terrible.
Yeah.
I guess it just wasn't what I expected it to be. I don't know what I expected, but it wasn't that.
Yeah.
It just wasn't that at all. I didn't.
And I'm just talking about the people that are coming out of there. Like a lot of our stories, and it's just coincidence, or I don't know, but like Bonnie Nettles, born in Houston, Texas.
Mm-hmm.
Marshall Applewhite, we're gonna find out. Houston, Texas. It's just
Yeah, definitely. So during
the Ramos family, where I am part of, my lineage, Houston, Texas.
Really?
My mom was born in Houston, Texas.
Oh dear God! Really?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
My grandma and grandpa met in Houston, Texas. I got cousins in Houston, Texas.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
interesting.
And my grandparents came out here in the 1960s.
Wow.
So and
my whole family literally was from here. Like,
no, not mine.
My dad was, I don't even know, Lincoln Heights or Boyle Heights. I don't know. One of the two.
One of the heights.
One of them. So my dad was born.
Yeah. So no.
My mom's from Compton.
You know what? My mom went to school in Compton too, elementary school in Compton.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Like I don't.
That's the first place they moved. When they came from Houston, Texas, they moved to Compton. Yeah.
Yeah.
From Compton, and then they moved to Whittier. So, but yeah, Houston, Texas, all my family. So I can say it.
Okay. Okay. So we're okay talking trash on Houston. Okay. Okay. Good.
Good to know.
So during this time, she met Marshall Applewhite. Marshall was born on May 17th, 1931. His father was a Presbyterian minister. Therefore, he became very religious as a child. In 1952, while going to college to study theology, he married and had 2 children. In 1974, he was drafted into the United States Army and eventually earned a master's degree in music and focused on musical theater. He tried to become a professional singer in New York City and later taught at the University of Alabama. However, he was fired for having a sexual relationship with a male student. 3 years after this incident, his wife divorced him and his father rejected him for being homosexual. In 1970, his father passed away and Marshall became severely depressed. Bonnie and Marshall developed a close relationship, and they discussed mysticism at length and came to the conclusion that they were called as divine messengers and identified themselves as two witnesses of revelation. Mysticism is popularly known as becoming one with God or the absolute, but may refer to any kind of ecstasy or altered state of consciousness, which is given a religious or spiritual meaning. Oh, interesting.
Yeah. And it's like I was going to mention that thread of revelations, apocalyptic, it's just all this like that running trend
of
what their belief system
and
is.
all of them.
This one goes like a little bit one up on that, but
Oh yeah. Kicks it up a notch a little bit. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. So Marshall would later state that he felt like he had known Bonnie for a long time and concluded that they had met in a past life. Bonnie told Marshall that their meeting was destiny foretold by the aliens. Here we go.
There we go.
Buckle up, Buttercup.
There's the kick it up a notch.
Yeah. They soon moved in together, but it was not a sexual relationship. Bonnie's husband divorced her and she lost custody of her children. The two opened a bookstore and teaching center called the Christian Arts Center before traveling around the United States sharing their views. This is really interesting. I didn't know a whole lot about this before reading. I just knew bits and pieces, but I didn't.
We knew more of like what happened at the end, but not really.
Yes, but not the
beginning,
how
they met.
Became, yeah.
And I'm just shocked that it took that long for like spouses to divorce and
and to lose children.
And I'm just like, for her to, and some of the accounts, and it's really long because some people have different accounts, but some accounts are like they actually met at a musical theater that her children were attending and he was teaching there. And then other accounts were like, no, that's not how they met. So I didn't want to really put it in because there was different accounts on how they actually specifically met. But they met, they came together.
Yeah, that's all that matters.
Yeah. But yeah.
So Bonnie and Marshall gained about 70 followers by the mid-1970s. They published advertisements for meetings looking for people who would believe in their teachings. At these events, they claimed that they were representing beings from another planet, the next level, in which they would be brought to a higher evolutionary level. In 1976, they stopped recruiting and instituted a monastic lifestyle in which the main objective is to imitate the life of Christ as far as possible in preparation for attaining eternal life after death. This was to control their followers and keep hostile parties from infiltrating the group. Their central belief was that they could transform themselves into immortal extraterrestrial beings by rejecting their human nature and would be able to ascend to heaven. They referred to this as the next level. They shared that the group would be visited by extraterrestrials who would provide them with new bodies. They traveled to Medicine Bow, Wyoming, saying that a UFO would visit them. When it did not show up, Bonnie told the followers that the visit was canceled. From 1976 to 1979, the group traveled around to campgrounds and limited contact with those outside the group. There you go again. Yeah. Same thing.
Because I think they tried to, at one point they had several hundred people kind of listening, maybe being followers. People were coming into the group, dropping out of the group. But I think there was a lot of influence by people saying this is whack and trying to remove other people with them. So instead of losing more and more members to these crazy ideas that they were having.
Yeah.
Extraterrestrials and our bodies and transcending.
And we were in Medicine Bow, and that's I'm
surprised that's not on their welcome sign.
Seriously.
It's so small and
it's tiny. So tiny.
It was the same place where we went for the Victorian Hotel. What was the name of that hotel?
The Victorian. Or the Victoria or the Victorian? No, the Victoria. Wasn't it?
Was it named the Victorian Hotel?
I think so, yeah.
I knew it was with the V, but yeah. Maybe.
I think
we'll
so.
get the pictures.
Yeah.
Well, we did an episode on it.
Yeah,
we talked
did.
about it because it was known to be haunted, but it was right there in Medicine Bow.
When Bonnie passed away from cancer in 1985, the group's views on ascension were challenged, in which they thought they would board a UFO while alive and ascend to heaven with their new bodies. However, they later believed that the body was merely a container for the soul, and that it wasn't until death that their consciousness would be transferred to the next level. Marshall became increasingly paranoid, fearing conspiracy against his group, and began to talk more about the apocalypse.
And he was so dead set saying, this is going to happen in my lifetime. And because everything that he was proclaiming wasn't happening true,
yeah,
he had to make sure that something was going to happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course. In October 1996, the group rented a mansion in Rancho Santa Fe, California, near San Diego, and recorded video messages offering people a last chance to evacuate Earth. He believed that Bonnie was returning on a spaceship trailing Comet Hale-Bopp, and she planned to rendezvous with them. In March 1997, group members began to record farewell statements, and in the messages, many praised Marshall. On March 22nd, the suicides began by followers taking barbiturates and alcohol and placing bags over their heads. The suicides took place over a 3-day period, and the followers wore black Nike shoes and black uniforms.
It was like a little jumpsuit type thing.
It's funny because on Rare from Radio, they just talked about this, and Heidi thought they were purple Nikes.
Yeah.
But I think their faces something was purple.
The blankets that they covered their bodies
I was like
with.
something, yeah.
Yeah.
At the Museum of Death, they had like a whole thing on this.
Yes.
Do you remember? Oh, yeah, you went.
I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Marshall was one of the last 4 to die. On March 26, 1997, San Diego County Sheriff deputies went out to the mansion on an anonymous tip and discovered the bodies of 39 members of the group. It was later discovered that the tip came from a recipient of a package that was sent out by members of the group that included VHS tapes with Doe's final exit.
It's like his speech of his final message.
Farewell messages by the followers.
Yeah, and you can find those on YouTube and stuff if you Google it. Like
the videos.
The videos of their last words. They're saying goodbye to their family members, and they're talking about like how they're following them, and there's a spaceship coming for them, and they're gonna ascend into their new bodies. They really believe.
Yeah, I know, and it's so sad that these people really believe all this stuff and like go to these lengths. I can't imagine their families.
Yeah, unless we're just stupid, and they're over there living it up in the alien spaceship already, way before.
I mean, maybe they are. I don't know. They might be.
Yeah.
Just before the mass suicide, the group's website was updated with the message, Hale-Bopp brings closure to Heaven's Gate. Our 22 years of classroom here on planet Earth is finally coming to a conclusion. Graduation from the human evolutionary level. We are happily prepared to leave this world and go with T's crew.
That's where they thought Bonnie was. And one of the guys one of the participants of this group was actually the brother of the lady who played on Star Trek. I can't remember her name, but I'm going to bring up her picture. Nichelle Nichols. Her brother was part of this.
That's
she lost
crazy.
her brother.
Oh my God.
Isn't that
wow?
But
it's so sad. Like,
we wanted to cover these 4, and there was plenty more, but it kind of gets a little bit dicey on what you want to call a cult and what you don't, and what some people classify as a cult, and others it was just like a short little lived religious group,
right? But
like the ones like the Manson family, obviously,
that's a given.
This one, the Blackburn. I mean, they called it themselves, so these are very obvious cults and their belief systems and what we see strung through it, like
definitely.
What is it? The common denomination between denominator between it all.
Common denomination
between it all.
Yeah.
But please, if you like us, please hit subscribe. Yeah. Like.
If you have any comments on this one, this will be an interesting one too. I'd like to hear people's takes if they know of any
places that are still standing. I mean, I know that I did see some things that maybe we might take a look at, like the 145 Greenleaf. I definitely want to check out where that could have been. I'm sure addresses have been changed since then, but just to check out these areas and
because that's real close to here.
Yeah, we'll go hit it up right now.
Yeah.
So get some coffee and ice cream.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well,
but please follow us on 50 States of Madness.
Yeah. TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. If you'd like to support us, we're at patreon.com/50 States of Madness. And we will be back next week.
Yeah. Till next week.
Okay.
Bye, guys.
See ya.